Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach? That racing heart? Or those thoughts that just won't shut off even when you're trying to relax? That's anxiety, and while a little bit is normal, when it becomes a constant companion, it can quietly start to take over your life in ways you might not even realize. Today, we're going to dive deep into the 7 major ways anxiety affects your life, from your mind and body to your relationships and future. Understanding these impacts is the first step toward taking back control. First, let's talk about the most obvious impact: mental health. Living with persistent anxiety is like having a little voice in your head that's always whispering worst-case scenarios. This constant state of worry and overthinking is mentally exhausting. You might find yourself replaying conversations, worrying about future events that haven't happened, or feeling a sense of dread for no clear reason. Over time, this mental strain can be overwhelming. It can drain your joy, make you feel hopeless, and in many cases, it can pave the way for more serious conditions like depression. It's not just about feeling nervous. It's a chronic state of alert that wears down your mental resilience, making it harder to cope with everyday challenges. Next up, let's discuss focus and productivity. Have you ever tried to read a page in a book, only to get to the bottom and realize you have no idea what you just read? That's anxiety at play. When your mind is hijacked by anxious thoughts, there's very little mental bandwidth left for anything else. It becomes incredibly difficult to concentrate on work, study for an exam, or even complete simple daily tasks. Your mind is constantly jumping from one worry to another, making it nearly impossible to stay present and focused. This can lead to missed deadlines, poor performance, and a frustrating feeling that you're always falling behind, which, ironically, can create even more anxiety. It's a vicious cycle where anxiety makes you less productive and your lack of productivity makes you more anxious. Now, let's move from the mind to the body. Anxiety isn't just in your head. It has very real, very physical consequences. When you feel anxious, your body goes into fight or flight mode, releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This is helpful if you're facing a real danger, but when it's triggered by worry, it just wreaks havoc on your system. You might experience chronic headaches, unexplainable muscle tension in your neck and shoulders, a constantly racing heart, or even digestive issues like stomach cramps or irritable bowel syndrome. These physical symptoms aren't imaginary. They are your body's direct response to mental stress. Over the long term, this chronic stress can weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to getting sick and generally leaving you feeling run down and physically exhausted. One of the most common and disruptive effects of anxiety is on our sleep. How many times have you laid in bed, desperate to sleep, but your mind is running a marathon? Racing thoughts, replaying the day's events, and worrying about tomorrow's to-do list are classic signs of anxiety-induced insomnia. It can make it hard to fall asleep, or you might wake up in the middle of the night with your heart pounding and find it impossible to get back to sleep. This lack of quality rest doesn't just make you tired the next day. It impairs your mood, your judgment, and your ability to cope with stress. Sleep is when our bodies and minds repair themselves, so when anxiety robs you of that, it makes it even harder to manage your anxious feelings, creating yet another exhausting cycle. Anxiety doesn't just affect you. It can also put a significant strain on your relationships. When you're constantly on edge, it's easy to become irritable or snap at the people you love without meaning to. You might misinterpret a harmless comment as criticism because your mind is already primed for threats. Overthinking can also lead you to constantly seek reassurance from your partner or friends, which can become draining for them over time. In other cases, anxiety can make you withdraw. You might cancel plans because you feel too overwhelmed to be social. Or you might avoid deep conversations because you're afraid of being judged. This can create a sense of distance and misunderstanding, weakening the very connections that are so crucial for our well-being. Your loved ones might not understand what you're going through, and you might feel too isolated to explain. Beyond our immediate daily life, anxiety can also put a limit on our future. It thrives on fear of the unknown, and this fear can be incredibly It can stop you from applying for that dream job because you're terrified of the interview. It might prevent you from traveling to new places because of all the what-ifs. It can hold you back from pursuing a new hobby or joining a social group because you're scared of not fitting in or making a fool of yourself. Essentially, anxiety shrinks your world. It convinces you to stay within your comfort zone where things feel safe and predictable. But growth, opportunity, and new experiences all live outside of that zone. By letting fear dictate your choices, you might miss out on a life full of rich, rewarding experiences that you truly deserve. Finally, let's talk about coping mechanisms. When we're dealing with chronic anxiety, it's natural to look for ways to feel better, even if it's just for a moment. Unfortunately, this often leads to developing unhealthy habits. You might find yourself reaching for sugary comfort foods, having an extra glass of wine at night to take the edge off, or zoning out for hours in front of a screen to numb your thoughts. While these things might provide temporary relief, they often make the problem worse in the long run. Poor diet, alcohol, and a sedentary lifestyle can all negatively impact your physical and mental health, further fueling the cycle of anxiety. These coping strategies become a crutch that prevents you from developing healthier, more effective ways to manage your stress, keeping you stuck. If you've been listening and nodding along, please know you are not alone. Anxiety is one of the most common mental health challenges people face. The first step is recognizing its impact, and the next is seeking support. Talk to a friend, a family member, or a mental health professional. There are so many effective strategies and therapies available, from cognitive behavioral therapy to mindfulness and lifestyle changes, that can help you manage anxiety and reclaim your life. Remember, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Thank you so much for watching today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on mental health and well-being. Share it with someone who might need to hear this. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.